And the ABC has announced major cuts as part of a 5-year strategy to cut $40 million over 5 years. 250 jobs are expected to be axed as part of the plans. ABC Comedy will be rebranded to focus on the arts, and the iconic 7:45am radio news bulletin will be axed. The broadcaster will put greater emphasis on its iView service. Robbo, we knew this was coming, but gee, this is going to hurt.
It's really going to hurt. It's going to hurt all of us. So obviously, our thoughts are with the people who will eventually lose their job from the ABC. The ABC is really, really important. And so for the Liberal coalition government has cut money from them for years. They really don't like the ABC, but all of us will hurt from this, and we all need to get behind the ABC as much as we can. It is a great service, and the media landscape in this country would be a very barren wasteland indeed if we didn't have the wonderful contributions that ABC make. The other thing as well is when there's a bushfire or a cyclone or anything like that, everyone turns to the ABC. They don't get any more funding for that, but they're the point of contact between government, emergency services, and the public. So, yeah, this is a really, really bad, sad day for everyone, not just the staff at the ABC.
Ben, what do you think? Does the government have to be held responsible for not funding the ABC sufficiently? There has been no effective rise for the ABC even to match inflation, so that means that they've actually had to cut. Or does the organisation just have to do better with the money it's got?
Well, like pretty much everything at the moment, everyone just needs to be doing it smarter and cheaper and faster and harder. Yes. And it's really upsetting to see what's happening with the ABC, especially seeing as that it does deliver a really strong balance to the other networks. You know, I think it might be a sign of my age. I turned 40 this year, but a majority of my friends really only watch ABC and SBS because they have streamed, you know, they seem to have gone away from some of those mainstream networks like 7, 9 and 10. So look, it's disappointing news, but it'll be really interesting to see who survives in this landscape as these big changes are made.
Well, that's absolutely right.
What? It costs, in 2017, so 3 years ago, so it'll be up a little bit, it costs every Australian 19 cents a day for the ABC. I think it's a very small price to pay, and we could easily
it used
make
to
it
cost
25
us 8,
cents
Robbo.
or something like that.
It was 8 cents a day.
Well, yeah,
there's inflation.
Okay, yeah, in the 60s. In the 60s, it might have cost 8 cents a day. But I just think it's it's really important, and this is
Yes, it is, but I think Ben raised a really good point here because every media company is doing it tough. And I do think, I've always thought there is some fat to be trimmed from the ABC, and I don't want to see people in the industry lose their jobs. That's the last thing I want. And Ben has more news about in entertainment today about more local jobs going in the media industry when we get down to entertainment. But the fact is that resources are finite, and I do think the ABC can do better with the money that it has. Do I want it stripped down to nothing? Absolutely not. But you look at its commercial rivals are fighting for survival right now in a weak advertising market, and I think there has to be some consideration to the fact that the ABC just can't get buckets and buckets of load of money when everyone is doing it tough. We're seeing redundancies across all the networks. 10 Daily got pulled. We did a story about that. There's axings at local news in Adelaide. There's so much happening in the media sector. The ABC cannot be in a bubble of its own. Surely, Robbo?
Yes, but it's valuable. I think
I agree.
The value
I
far
agree.
outweighs the cost of that. Look, I worked at the ABC for a while, and it runs on the smell of an oily rag anyway. So, I'd rather see a Murdoch paper go down than the ABC.
But it's not either or, and that's a philosophical argument, and I don't think that has a place here because the Murdoch press actually does do a great job in exposing certain things, whether you like their slant and their views or not, right versus left, or the perceived right versus the perceived left of the ABC. Both organisations over the years have done brilliant jobs in exposing stories that wouldn't otherwise get revealed. So I don't want to see anything go down. I don't want to see papers close. I don't want to see the ABC go down. But what I do acknowledge here with the ABC is a need for to rethink the way they do things. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I certainly would like to see some extra funding. They've done it tough for a few years. They haven't had an injection of funds.
It's a Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo show.